2026. Every block, every ballot, every voice. This ain't left or right. This is right now. OVC. Teachers shaping minds. That too stood strong. Gig workers hustling just to get along. Parents, elders, first-time voters in line. Same clock ticking, same moment in time. No dark money whispers. No backroom deals. Daylight choices and the truth that's real. Labels don't own us. We bigger than sides. Accountability lives where democracy thrives. Our vote counts. Yeah, remember the name. Every voice heard. We don't play no games. From the city to the plains. Let freedom resound. Different stories, same future. United we found. Our vote counts. Stand tall, no doubt. Integrity first. Let the people speak loud. From the city to the plains. Let freedom resound. Different stories, same future. United we found. Clear facts, no spin. Education unlock, breaking down the process from the door to the box. Who earns the trust? Who shows up to serve? Asking the questions, leaders got nerves. Neighborhoods talking, town halls packed. Local voices first, yeah, we built it like that. Different faiths, views, so walking as one. Democracy stronger when we all get it done, yeah. Our vote counts, yeah, remember the name. Every voice heard. We don't play no games. From coast to coast, let the movement expand. Power in the people, future in our hands. Our vote counts, stands tall, no doubt. When we show up informed, that's what it's all about. Our vote counts, stands tall, no doubt. When we show up informed, that's what it's all about. This ain't no cycle, nah, this is a standard. Long-term vision, principles planned. From schools to the boards, up to the higher seats. We connect the dots from the block to the streets. Peaceful power, respect and demand. Integrity measured by actions, not plans. OVC active, participation mounts. When the people stand ready, turnout counts, yeah. Our vote counts, yeah, remember the name. Every voice heard. We don't play no games. From the city to the plains, let freedom resound. Different stories, same future. United we found. Our vote counts, stand tall, no doubt. Integrity first. Let the people speak loud. From the city to the plains, let freedom resound. Different stories, same future. United we found. Every voice, every vote, integrity, inclusion, accountability. OVC, yeah. 2026. My vote counts, and so does yours.
All right, everyone, welcome back for our second town hall for tonight. So go ahead and tap the screen. We have about 1.4K likes. So let's see if we can get at least 5K before we get started with the conversation with LeVon Barnes. So welcome in. As I mentioned before, thank you all for staying up with us to have this awesome conversation. So I hope that everybody done their checklist, which is send out your daily harmony, repost a live, also add it to your story. That way those who follow you can know that you are in this live having this conversation. And if they would love to participate, we are more than welcome to have them here. All right. So how's everybody feeling tonight? Happy Wednesday. Okay. We're going to go ahead and send the invite back to LeVon. He's here. So let's go ahead and get him up here. Thank you all for being here this far. Okay, sorry about that. Okay. All right. So, LeVon, when you get the invite, just go ahead and accept it, and we can bring you up here. Are you able to join the panel, LeVon? Okay. All right, we have almost 2K. Be sure to tap the live. Also, for those who are new to OVC, we do have a Discord. So Let us know if you would love to join our Discord to have this conversation. Be sure to go to our profile and we'll click on it. Hi, LeVon. How are you?
What's going on? How are you? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. And are you able to turn on your camera?
Yeah, I'm
Not-
trying.
Okay.
I was trying to follow your instructions. See, I'm not the.
I can help you. No, you're
that-
fine.
that-
I can help you. So,
Yeah.
so now that you're on the panel, do you see that camera icon?
I do see the camera icon.
Okay, click on that to turn it on. And then there is an option called effects. Click on effects.
I see the effects.
All right. Do you see a green screen option? So it has like a green screen with like the square, like a window inside the green screen with the sun in the corner of it. Do you see that?
I don't necessarily see the green screen option, man. I was so sorry. I had it on the
screen,
like I went.
It has like a green.
So like when I went to the follow the instructions, of course, I had it up and I was waiting for the invite and I couldn't. I don't know if I had to be on the live to accept the invite. I had it up on the like in the practice
Okay.
world.
Okay. Yes. If
If
you're still in the camera mode,
Yeah,
do you see that effects tab? So
I
you're in
see.
effects.
I'm in effects. I see green screen. Never mind. I see it now. I'm sorry.
Okay. And then it'll open up the camera roll in your phone.
Yup. I'm good.
And then after you select that, click save.
Click. All right, we in there.
All right.
We in
You
there.
ready to go?
I'm ready.
Okay. All right. Let me know when you're ready and we'll go ahead and get started.
Let's go. Let's do this.
All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our Vote Counts Town Hall. I am your moderator, JazB. So for those who are not familiar with our Vote Counts, we are a nonpartisan coalition of citizens from diverse states and backgrounds, united by a shared commitment to empowering voters and promoting candidates who stand for integrity, inclusion, accountability in the upcoming elections. Formed by a collective of educators, veterans, and small business owners across geography, race, and ideology. While our stories are different, our mission is the same: to ensure that every voice is heard and every vote counts. So with our vote counts, it's just more than a name. It's a promise of commitment, a movement, and a rallying cry for democracy. So together, we're shaping the future one informed vote at a time. So tonight, I am joined by LeVon Barnes. LeVon is a Democratic candidate running for North Carolina's 64th district for the StateHouse. We've learned that you don't have a primary because you are the sole person in the primary. Is that correct?
God is good. God is good on that.
Yes, and what your district consists of is mostly of Mebane and Alamance County.
So yeah, my district, Alamance County in general, is split into two different districts. You have 63 and 64. 64 encompasses, for those who are familiar with Mebane, Graham, all the way down to Green Level and Haw River, all the way down. It's the southern part of Alamance,
Okay.
primarily. Yeah.
Okay. So we did some research on you, and we've learned that you are a public school educator, administrator for over 20 years of experience. You're currently serving as a teacher and the founder of the Youth Male Achievers Empowerment Movement. You have a diverse professional background, which includes you are a basketball coach, associate dean of students, alongside of years of leadership within the Durham Democratic Party. But now you're running for the North Carolina State House. So once again, welcome to our Vote Counts. And so for the format of the town hall is, after each set of topic questions that I give you, we will allow one person to come up and ask you a question. If we don't have anyone in the queue, then I'll point out some questions for them to ask you. Okay?
Yep.
All right. And in spirit of Black History Month, I would like to ask you an icebreaker question. Yeah. So given that your career in education and you work with the young male achievers, how does the legacy of the Greenboro Four, which everybody does know about the Greenboro Four, that were 4 students from North Carolina A&T who sparked a national movement from the Woolworth lunch counter, just about 30 minutes from your district.
Yep.
But how does that history inform your belief in the power of young people to drive political change in North Carolina today?
That's a great question. I mean, I have been to the museum, and if anybody has not been to the Greensboro Museum, please go and see that history there. I believe in the power of young people because every single day I witness greatness and potential in my students that I've had over the last 2 decades. And so planting seeds is something that I truly believe in, and paying it forward and pouring into young people. And I want them to be able to go out there and be the trendsetters. What we're doing right now is following the footsteps of the Greensboro Four. We're following the footsteps of Dr. King and Jesse Jackson, who just passed. But who are these kids going to follow? I want them what they wanted for us. And it's unfortunate that we still have a long way to go unnecessarily, but I want my kids to have, or my students to have a better way forward than I did. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. And so we'll go ahead and roll into talking about the economy. So could you tell me what specific policies will you support to attract good paying jobs in District 64 while ensuring local residents, not outside of corporations, benefit first?
Yeah. Again, North Carolina, let's look at about the facts. North Carolina is number one in business, but yet we're dead last in how we fund public education. I'm not a math teacher. I'm a physical education teacher, but even if I did math, that math doesn't make sense. And what we have here in Alamance County and throughout the entire state of North Carolina is a lack of understanding of what working class people are going through every single day. The minimum wage in North Carolina is $7.25. That is the same as the minimum wage. The minimum wage as the federal, which hasn't been raised since 2009. I am a believer that your wage should not be something that you survive off of, but that's something that you can live and thrive off of. So I am proposing that we raise the state minimum wage to at least $20 an hour. Most businesses now, since COVID, are already paying somewhere between $15 to $17 an hour. And so what we're trying to do is strengthen people's resolve. We know that if they can make more, they're going to spend. So that's going to help business and economy. We need to give less tax breaks to our major box corporations, and we need to actually tax them harder in order to fund our public schools, in order to make sure we have Medicaid expansion, affordable health care, and things of that nature.
Absolutely. And so just as a follow-up, North Carolina is consistently ranked as top of the state for business, but often ranks near the bottom for worker protections and benefits. So my question to you is, what do you have any policy prescriptions or any type of current legislation that has been on the floor that you would advocate for to continue to protect for workers' rights in the state?
Absolutely. I don't have any legislation yet, but when I get in, one of the things that I definitely would sign off on is, first of all, killing the right to work state. The right to work state I would consider that to be modern day slavery. I am a union guy. I come from a union family. And before I moved to North Carolina, after I graduated college, my first teaching job was in Prince George's County, Maryland. In PG County, that's where I really understood the union, how strong the union is, and how collective bargaining helps people and not corporation. So I would look to get rid of any right to work legislation, and allow collective bargaining throughout our public offices, public jobs or state jobs, because it's currently constitutionally illegal to do so.
Absolutely. And just another question that you mentioned about I think you mentioned something along the lines when it comes to the minimum wage. Also, when it comes to the wage gap. So, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I understand, the current StateHouse, is it nearing like more Republican led right now in the StateHouse? It
is literally maybe 1 vote, 2 votes in the House, StateHouse, from it being a super majority. In 2024, we were able to break a supermajority. So the supermajority means that the Republicans already hold a majority in our state Senate. They hold a majority in our state House, and they also own a majority in the Supreme Court. And when you have all three of those things, they had what we consider a veto-proof majority. So they could pass bad legislation, and our governor, who at the time was Roy Cooper, now Josh Stein, both Democrats, would veto that nonsense, but they had the power and the votes to override the veto and then pass awful legislation that is regressive, and it's definitely not working class friendly. It's not public school friendly. It's not job friendly. It's repulsive.
Yeah, that's an interesting dynamic, knowing that it's majority Republican in the House, and anytime they pass any type of legislation that's veto proof, that does kind of put the governor in a bind where they can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely. So, and thank you for adding that, because I think that doesn't really get talked about enough on the state level when you have that type of dynamic. So thank you for sharing that. Okay, so I will go ahead and allow anyone to come up and ask LeVon a question regarding economics and jobs. So feel free to request up. But there is a question in the chat from Sianka. She asked, how do you feel about Tom Tillis trying to do better on his way out? So he's a senator of North Carolina right now. That's
Yes.
Retirement, correct? Yeah.
Yeah. Sianka, thank you for the question. It's a little too late. I'm sorry, the Tom Tillises of the world, the Marjorie Taylor Greens of the world, all of a sudden these folks are starting to come out of the MAGA phase, I guess, or the illusion. It's a little too late. They've done so much more damaging work. Tom Tillis is no longer running for the Senate because he gained a conscience, and then when he lost favor with Trump, he knew that he was going to be primary and he was going to lose. So I appreciate, what I do appreciate is you can right your wrongs and tell the truth now, but you should also go back and apologize for all the bad legislation that you have passed that hurt North Carolina, that hurt the United States of America. So I feel like it's a little bit too late. And when you know you're not having to run again, of course you can be who you want to be. What I want to see in a Tom Tillis, and what I want to see in all of my legislators, is to not be a step in and fetch it. I don't need you to be the puppeteer. If we elect you, I want you to represent us regardless of what side of the aisle that you are. Okay. And so that's what I'm looking for now.
And there's another question in the chat. Miss Nikki asked, what part of PG did you teach in and what school? Which school?
They say, what's going on, Miss Nikki? My very first job was at Hyattsville Middle School, right outside of where DeMatha Catholic High School is. I was coaching football at Northwestern High School and coached basketball at Eleanor Roosevelt High School.
Okay, cool. All right, so we'll go ahead and roll it into. I wanted to ask you a quick question regarding just land use and small farms. So when it comes to your district, it has a rapid suburban sprawl, which is often converting into more traditional farmland and also into residential subdivisions. What legislative measures, will you support to help small farmers keep their land productive instead of being forced to sell it to developers?
Yeah, I have met with a lot of farmers, especially in the southern part of the county, Snow Camp area, and they are hurting. And when I say they are hurting, they are doing exactly what you're saying. They're generationally farmers that are now having to sell to big farms or just going bankrupt, right? And when you add the tariffs that Trump has put out there, and then you add the fact that our state legislature has not passed a budget in 239 days, and then when you add the fact that Alamance County doesn't have any type of zoning, this is what you get. When you have leaders in this county, and the leaders that represent the state in Alamance County have a lack of foresight, a lack of understanding about what's really going on because they've been so comfortable in these seats. This is exactly what happens. When you're not talking to the people who are directly affected and you're not hearing their stories because you're absent, this is what happens. So for me, one of the things I'm definitely going to push is that our Alamance County commissioners have zoning. We have, I mean, it's ridiculous. There's 100 counties in North Carolina, and I think Alamance County is maybe one of two counties that don't have zoning, and the other county is a very, very, very small county. Okay.
Absolutely. Thank you for that answer. So I'm going to open it up for someone on the panel to come up, which we have Buttermilk. Hello. Did you have a question for LeVon? Or
Hi.
comment?
Thank you for coming tonight, Mr. LeVon. I am in PG County. Actually went
Okay.
to Nicholas Orme Middle School, which was
Yep.
Hyattsville rivals.
Yep. Yeah.
But I also lived in Raleigh and Greensboro.
Yeah.
So I am familiar with both places. So my question to you is what jobs do you think that North Carolina should really invest in to, like strengthen the economy? Because I know Durham area, they while both areas, Mebane, and Durham, or Alamance County altogether, they're growing. It's really growing,
Yeah.
but the people still have to drive far to go to work.
Yeah.
So what industries do you see being able to bring to Alamance County to strengthen the economy there?
Well, yeah, thank you for that question, and I'm proud to say that we was smacking up Nicholas Orme when I was coaching there.
Lies.
But North Carolina is known, especially in this area, right? But this is the Piedmont, but then right down from the Piedmont, you have Research Triangle.
The triangle, yeah.
So many people are now moving to Alamance County primarily because the property taxes are lower. You get more bang for your dollar when it comes to a home because it's unaffordable to live in Durham and Raleigh right now. So why not drive another 30 minutes, be on the highway, straight shot to your job? I don't necessarily think that the drive is what's keeping people from, not living here. But Alamance history has been in textiles. And that clearly that industry is long gone. So we're getting like, warehouse, the big corporations like UPS has built a warehouse here. I mean, we're getting a Buc-ee's in Mebane. We have so much going on, but yet the people are not experiencing those jobs. They're not experiencing what the growth is. And that's primarily because Alamance County has not traditionally offered those opportunities. A lot of people will, a lot of our young people here will go to school here and then they go to school, leave high school, go to college, never come back. What we want to do is try to bring some of that talent back home. And that means that we have to drive industry here. And that is also talking to, like the residents that live here, the folks who have been here. What kind of jobs are we needing to bring that's going to help our young people stay here? I would love to see more apprenticeships and internships. And so that is something I would be pushing with the companies that are going to be here. I want to see direct pipelines from those companies to Alamance, Burlington public schools. So that way, a lot of our students who are not necessarily thinking about college can go straight from high school to a full-time paying job. And that's the trend that I'm seeing amongst a lot of our students. College is not affordable, but they have to help their families survive. So I would like to see more partnerships in that aspect.
Yeah, you got AT&T right there, and
Yep.
I know for myself, once
LabCorp is
people,
here too, and that's probably the biggest employer outside of sorry to cut you off. LabCorp is here, and that's probably the biggest employer outside of Alamance, Burlington public schools.
I was gonna say people, they North Carolina is a great state, so people come there to go to AT&T, and they're like, "Oh, I love it here," but then, like you said, that they can't really find the jobs there, so they end up leaving and going wherever. So I really hope that you could get in the state house and come up with some plans to expand the job growth so that more people stay there.
Absolutely.
So good luck
Thank
with
you.
your campaign.
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you, Jazz.
Thank you, Buttermilk. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and start, talk about healthcare. So, while North Carolina has finally expanded Medicaid, many residents in your district still face high out-of-pocket costs for prescription. I'm not gonna say the DRUGS word. I'm gonna say prescriptions
Yeah.
and specialist visits, because TikTok is very sensitive with certain words.
It's sensitive on certain things, not on others.
Yeah. So my question to you is, what steps would you take to protect and expand Medicaid coverage and ensure rural and working class residents can have access to care close to home? Because we do understand there's like medical desert. So what are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, we as a state have to permanently fund our Medicaid expansion. That big ugly thing bill, I will never call it a big beautiful thing, but a big ugly thing has done awful harm to the state because of Medicaid. It's cut Medicaid. Most rural municipalities and rural counties have been hurt the most because of that bill. When it comes to rural hospitals, we already had an issue with access to healthcare. Most people in Alamance County are going to either Greensboro, Orange County, or Durham for their healthcare, right? We here in Alamance County, because of again, our county commissioners not being of the people and for the people and by the people, refuse to fund, public health stuff. So we have a lack of ambulances here, and our county is the only county where the I-40 and I-85 run straight up. So like it's a really big spread out county. And when you have to wait 30 minutes for an ambulance, think about it from the perspective. If it was your mama and your daddy in a situation and they can't get the access because we don't have any ambulances, you got to wait for an ambulance from Durham, or you got to wait for an ambulance from Chapel Hill to come and assess your situation. I think you would feel away. So we need to expand Medicaid. I would love for us to have a better state health plan. I'm on the state health plan, and I can tell you our premiums are through the roof now, and primarily again because we haven't passed the budget. So I want to see more hospitals come here. I want to see more purposeful bills that are going to help fund public health care here in rural areas.
Absolutely. So as a follow-up, this is specifically regarding mental health and substance treatment. I learned that in Alamance County, they're right now they've been stretched thin when it comes to the services and wait times for youth and adolescent psychiatric services, but also been stretched thin regarding substance treatment. So my question to you is, how would you address this gap on the state level regarding this matter?
I mean, we got to have people who are going to be voices to that. I think. I mean, let's put it this way, and let's be blunt. The majority of the representatives in the state house are older white males, and their lens could never understand what people who are going through challenges were like. They don't care. It's like it's hurtful. it's painful to watch. As a teacher, I have seen the horrors of mental health, and I've also seen the success stories of when people can get the services that they need. And mental health is a threat, is a public safety threat to all people, regardless of your affiliation, your color, your skin, any of these things. And we need to, funnel money into paying our mental health counselors more. We need to make sure that we are driving pathways within all of our colleges and universities to increase the number of folks who get degrees in mental health. I would love to see Alamance County have a safe program where we're funding law enforcement officers who are trained in crisis intervention, instead of trying to use some type of force of violence to de-escalate when we know that we can talk folks down off the ledge with the proper training. I think that we need people in office that are going to carry that message, that's going to be steadfast and unwavering when it comes to making folks in Raleigh see that you have to have empathy and care, and understanding. And because you haven't gone through it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And because your constituents may feel a way, doesn't mean it doesn't matter. And what we need in Raleigh are people who understand that.
All right, absolutely. And I wanted to talk about reproductive care. So I did some research and found out that your opponent, Dennis Riddle, is supporting a House Bill 804 that is seeking to do like a total ban on AB. If you get my drift, I can't say the full word.
Yeah.
Could you tell me your thoughts on that? Because I know North Carolina is one of the few southern states that do allow for AB care. Could you speak to your thoughts on your opponent and them supporting that, as opposed to your support on the policy of giving women the right to choose?
My response is, my opponent, who's been in the seat for 14 years, I think that I have a lot of things I want to say that I'm going to say, but the government has no place in a woman's doctor's office. I'm a girl dad. I'm a husband. I have taught thousands of young women, and I think that they know their bodies and their doctors know their body best than the government. And to those who are pro-life folks, pro-life means healthcare. Pro-life means funding mental health care. Pro-life means a lot of things, right? Pro-life means protecting Black maternal health and investing in that. And I think my opponent doesn't realize that at all. I think that the hardest decision that somebody has to make, a woman has to make, is to make that decision about having an AB. What are we telling our young ladies now? My daughter has less rights than her mom and her grandparents, and almost like her great-grandparents at this point, about her bodily autonomy. That's absolutely tragic. We need to protect our women. We need to protect their choices and understand that organizations like Planned Parenthood do more than just an AB. They also provide a lot of health care for folks who are that have low resources. Right? They also do a lot of teaching, a lot of give a lot of information about a lot of different other healthcare choices to make. So my opponents and those who think like him I don't know if they would understand that situation if their daughter or granddaughter or somebody like that was assaulted and now, has to carry I mean, it's inhumane to be in that position of saying that you cannot make a choice about what you would like to do. And so I am pro-choice and pro-life because I want to protect and give our women and the young ladies all of the healthcare options that they could possibly have to make whatever decision that they feel is best for them. And that is not something that I or the government should ever be a part of, except to make sure that it's safe and that if they have to make a difficult choice like an AB, that there's the care before, during, and after that decision is made.
Absolutely. And just to add some more insight on that bill, luckily it didn't advance, but as a protective measure, Governor Josh Stein had to issue an executive order to protect medical providers from not getting prosecuted in the event that they provide this type of service, which is the service is legal. But thankfully, Governor Josh Stein understands that you do have certain prosecutors or certain districts that may not believe otherwise that it is lawful. So,
and that brings to the importance of this race. That brings to the importance of this election cycle, right? And why people can't sit out, and why we have to get out of the mindset that my vote doesn't matter. Well, your vote does matter. It matters not necessarily just for you, but think about the decisions that are going to be made for your children and your cousins and them and everybody else, right? We can't just think about us in the moment. But what is the trend that we're setting for everybody else, right? And we're only one or two negative flips in the other direction away from having that supermajority again for them to be able to pass these veto-proof awful bills, right? And we have to protect that. We have to. I believe in civil discourse. I believe that regardless of what side of the aisle you're on, I think that we agree on a lot of things. Right. I think sometimes based on what happens in Washington and based on sometimes in the media, it's polarizing. Right. In this issue, I think most people behind the scenes are in agreement about pro-choice, but they can't say that. They can't put that out there. I'm not afraid to do what's right for the people of Alamance County. And I'm not afraid, and I'm always going to do that. I do that now as an educator. I mean, I want to be held accountable. I should be held accountable, right? But that's also me having those important conversations with the people who are involved and invested, and not just the people who are big time donors or corporate folks. Like I want to talk and reach out and talk to you the same way now as a candidate as when I get elected.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. All right. So that wraps up the healthcare portion of my questions. So if anyone would love to come up and ask LeVon a question regarding the matter that we just talked about, feel free to request up. If it's something that we missed and regarding this topic, you can also talk about it as well. But so far, so good, LeVon. People have been engaging in a conversation with you. So that's great for that.
I see a comment. If I could respond, I think
sure.
Somebody asked, so you're pro-choice. You cannot be both on the subject because the action is being done. I am pro-choice, but pro-choice also could be, again, I want who's in the room to make the best decision for themselves. I don't want government. I don't want us to make laws about what you can do with your body. I don't see us making laws about, men in their private areas or things of that nature, right? We're not seeing that. What you're seeing is a bunch of old men that are out of tune, out of touch, that are no longer even having children, making decisions for people that don't look like them. They're making assumptions on why people get ABs in the first place. I'm also pro-life in the sense, I'm not pro-life where I'm right-wing pro-life. I'm pro-life in protecting the mother from conception to whatever by giving them the healthcare that they need. There's a difference between pro-life as in, I don't believe in having an AB or things of that nature, but do we know what the stats are for Black maternal health care? For Black women in general? Black death mortality is the highest amongst all people. So I want to protect that. I want to make sure personally speaking, my daughter was born premature, right? My wife had a difficult pregnancy. My wife wanted, we wanted what most people, we want a natural birth, right? And that choice was taken from us, right? And living with those decisions that are being taken from you, there's care that has to be involved in that, right? There's not enough doctors or aftercare for dealing with postpartum depression. To me, that's pro-life. That's protecting. That's wanting that. But I'm not going to make a decision for any woman if she decides to do what's best for her. So you can be pro-choice and at the same time be pro-life in the sense of giving folks the medical care that they need, the information that they need, the vitamins and the things that they need, the supplements that they may need to be able to carry life.
Absolutely. All right, so we're going to go ahead and roll it into talking about your wheelhouse, I should say, public education. So my first question to you about this is, how would you advocate for fully funding pre-K, K through 12 public schools in your district, especially in the light of the teacher shortage and overcrowded classrooms?
First of all, I believe in universal pre-K, so you can add pre-K through, you can add that. I believe we should have universal pre-K here in Alamance County and throughout the state of North Carolina. We have a constitutional obligation to fund public schools. We haven't funded. I don't know who that is over there. Shout out to Axel over there. But
I'll let go ahead.
We have a constitutional obligation to fund public schools. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. We are grossly, purposely underfunding public schools. For whatever reason, they think that it's going to eradicate public schools. We have this voucher system. We'll call it school choice. But what it essentially means is that my tax dollars and the people of North Carolina and the people of Alamance County, for that matter, tax dollars are now going to fund wealthy families to have their children attend private schools, right? In fact, it's going to cost the state almost over $600+ million, and it will skyrocket to over $1 billion in the next couple of years. Somebody tell me how that's right. And we are grossly underfunding our public schools, where I have, in Alamance County in particular, it made a lot of news because we had mold in our building 2 years ago. A lot of our schools had mold in it. Now, I'm not sitting here saying that when we was in school that we didn't have mold in ours, because I know that I'm sure that my school in New York had mold in it. However, what we continually do in education is try to put Band-Aids over gaping wounds. When the cost of maybe the mold removal was at $100,000, we'll push it back. We don't necessarily need to do it, but until it balloons up to being, tens of millions of dollars that immediately need to happen. Now school doesn't start on time because they have to repair these roofs, get new HVACs, all these things, right? All these Band-Aids now that are coming off. We need to be funding our public schools. We need to make sure that our teachers are paid respectively. We need to make sure that our bus drivers and our when I say our educators, I put all people who work in school as educators, because all the people that work with children have some type of impact on their lives. And to not pay them as a professional, when you have teachers living in their cars, but yet they got to teach your child. When you have food pantries in schools that are feeding not just the students, but the staff. And yet, what I hear from Raleigh is crickets. What I hear from Raleigh, and especially what I hear in Alamance County, is that, well, our children are illiterate. We've had county commissioners say our children are illiterate. They say that we indoctrinate our kids. I'm sorry, we don't do any of those things. If I indoctrinate anybody, I indoctrinate them to be good people, good servants, to pay it forward. If I indoctrinate, I sign up for that every day. And so we need to start our teacher pay at $60,000. And I say start at $60,000. We need to make sure that our bus drivers, our cafeteria staff, our ESPs, our instructional assistants are getting paid a living wage, not a surviving wage. We need to make sure that we invest in the public infrastructure of those public schools. So that means we are looking at roofs, and we're looking at HVACs, and we're looking at building newer schools rather than keeping old schools still around. We need to be making sure that we are partnering with our farmers. To go back to our farmers, one of the biggest problems with Trump getting rid of U.S. aid and getting rid of and putting these tariffs are farm to table. A lot of our farmers provide schools with food, and now that's been cut. So public schools, you can hear the passion in my voice when it comes to public schools. Give our kids an opportunity is what I'm asking. What are we saying when right now, if you ask a child, somebody's parent, in a lot of our schools in public high schools and middle schools and elementary schools in North Carolina, they're long-term subs in major classes. Teachers are leaving the profession because they can get paid more money doing something else. And we need to create pipelines of bringing in the new generation of teachers. And that means partnering with our HBCUs. That means partnering with our community colleges and other universities in creating more grants for for people who want to get into education. But until we pay our teachers a professional wage worthy of what they do every single day, it's going to continue to be a struggle.
Absolutely. So just from what I got from you, because it looks like you answered most of my questions that I had up here for education.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine, because no, you're good. It was great, because I had a question regarding, you proposing a $60,000 starting pay for teachers. You hit on the topic that I was going to ask you about, the hazardous conditions from recent health reports in the school district in Alamance County, and you already touched on the pay gap as opposed to someone that's working a different profession when it comes to teacher pay. So you touched on all the points. So yeah, you hit on everything I was talking about. So I'm going to allow a guest to come up here. Axel Cancel, did you have a question for LeVon?
Yes, I have a few questions. I want to know what, all right, so like in my opinion, like what is your opinion on foreign influence on our elections? For example, like you got all these lobbying, pouring thousands, millions of dollars into people campaigning to get them elected. And it just feels like our electoral process it's a sham, because now whoever has the most money can really buy the election. Like, what is your opinion on that? And do you have a plan that can maybe limit corporations or you know what I mean, big money donors? Because obviously nobody does anything for nothing. There's always a hidden motive behind it. What do you think about that? And how would you be able to try to fight that, and make it so the elections and when we go and vote, it's a sacred system that we have, because our country was based we pledge allegiance to, you know what I mean, like to the Constitution. We don't pledge allegiance to a president or to, it's always
Axel,
been to the
Axel, what's your question again? I'm sorry. What was it?
how to prevent from all these corporate PACs buying elections, like.
Yeah. So I appreciate that question, Axel, man. Well, first
It's
off,
not fair,
yeah, it isn't fair. And I would say, was the system ever fair for people of multi-nationalities? Really, was it ever fair to anybody that's not Anglo-Saxon and white, to be honest with you? But one of the things that hurts us is the Supreme Court, the United States Supreme Court, unfortunately, when they allowed all that dark money to come in to elections. Here in the state of North Carolina, one of the things that I would love to see is what they do in New York, and that's publicly funded campaigns where I guess public dollars get matched. And I think it will allow for a diverse group of candidates the opportunity to run for office. The problem in North Carolina is that the state legislature salary is $14,000, right? So who are the only people who can run in the state of North Carolina if the salary is $14,000? You're $14,000 salary, but yet you're doing full-time work, right? So it's grossly unfair for anybody that's working class to even have the opportunity to run if they're not a business owner, a doctor, a lawyer, or retired, right? We need to change that dichotomy. We need to be able to have diverse candidates. I'm also a believer of term limits. I mean, I know sometimes that might butthurt a lot of people, but I don't believe that people should die in the seats. There's a lot of people who could bring, different aspects to public office. And when you don't have term limits, if you have millions of dollars or you're sitting on hundreds of thousands of dollars, you're pretty much put yourself in a position to win. The other aspect of it is we need to stop the gerrymandering that goes on in the state. North Carolina is kind of like the home of gerrymandering. And just like what Texas did and then what California had to do to rebut what Texas did, North Carolina changed their congressional line in the first congressional district, which is in eastern North Carolina, to appease to Trump. And my opponent voted for that. He voted for that and then ran away from the questions of why you would vote for that, but then is not here to pass a budget. Now, you tell me, North Carolina, how that makes sense, that we'll gerrymander a line for a congressional seat, but we can't pass a state budget. Did you know that North Carolina is the only state in America that has not passed a budget? But yet we are going off a continuing resolution where when the last budget was agreed to, we stay on that until a new budget is passed. And we could stay on that for years. Now, our pay is the same, but the cost of living has gone up and up and up. So actually you're making less money. Your healthcare is higher, but your pay has been the same. So you're actually more broke now than you was 2 years ago. To answer as far as I think when it comes to elections, I want to go back to the fact that we got to get off our butts and go vote.
Yeah.
If you want change, you must vote.
Absolutely. And I just want to add one thing, what you said about the term limits. I've been a firm believer in that long before even Warren Buffett's been quoted saying that he can fix the GDP in the United States, term limits. I've been a firm believer in term limits because there's an old saying in the United States, right, that you can't teach an old dog new tricks.
No.
And that's the God honest truth. I think we need a revolving door, even up into the Supreme Court. We need people with new ideas and a new way of looking at life, at our country, and I think term limits is a great thing for the country.
I appreciate that. I mean, I think, be the change you wish to see. Right. I believe in that. And so I know that people expect change. And what the problem is that they think when somebody gets elected, it's like this automatic thing that happens, right? Change is incrementally slow on, on purpose. If we could just go in there and boom and do a complete 180, believe me, we would. But what we have to have is public involvement. What we have to have is a never quit attitude when it comes to the things that we want to see. What we have to have are people who are going to be engaged consistently at your school board meeting, at your city council meeting, at your soil and water meeting, at your county commissioner meeting. Show up to Raleigh, show up to Washington, show up to all these different types of things and have your voice be heard, because people who you think are speaking on your behalf that make these bad decisions, they don't care about what your opinion is because you ain't showing up. And so we have to get to that level. And in North Carolina, and in my race in particular, we're a toss up. We're right there on the precipice of being able to do that. And that will come from people saying, hey, I found a champion that's going to voice my issue. And so I want y'all to be a part of my team. And so Axel, I appreciate that question, brother.
Thank you,
All right,
man.
thank you, Axel.
I like everything you said, man, and I wish you good luck. I pray that you win and you bring change, real change to North Carolina. I'm not from down there. I live in New England, so but still, the country's we're getting worse and worse. We need good people like yourself to assume leadership and take us out of what we becoming, So
thank you.
Okay.
I appreciate your time.
Right. Thank you, Axel.
Thank you.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and roll it into some rapid fire questions. So these are more quick response, yes or no, and these are more political in nature. So are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's go.
All right. Should North Carolina immediately increase the minimum wage to $15 an hour or higher?
Absolutely.
All right. Do you support the full repeal of the Parents' Bill of Rights, SB 49?
Yes.
All right. Should the state provide universal free breakfast and lunch for all public school students?
Yes.
Do you support a red flag law to allow temporary removal of firearms from high-risk individuals?
No question. Yes.
All right. Should North Carolina eliminate the certificate of need laws for healthcare facilities?
Anything that's restrictive, yes.
All right. Do you support the legislation of recreation of the lettuce, I'll say, in North Carolina?
I love that. Yes, we should decriminalize.
All right. Is expanding the earned income tax credit a top priority for your first term?
Yeah, I want to definitely expand the earned income tax.
Should North Carolina move to a nonpartisan commission for redistricting?
No question. That should be the first vote that we take. I'm sorry.
I know, you're fine. Do you support state-funded subsidies for healthcare providers?
Yes.
All right. Lastly, is protecting reproductive freedom the number one issue facing women in District 64?
It's one of yes. It's one of them, but yes, for sure.
All right, so that wraps up my first portion of rapid fire. So we have some fun ones at the end. So be on ready for that one as well.
Ready,
so those are more fun to get to know you on a more fun level about your background. But you were talking to Axel about gerrymandering voting rights. So I want to kind of delve into that a little bit. So those a lot of people probably don't remember, but I think this is something that is leading up to what we see today when it comes to the voter ID law that is trying to get passed on the federal level. So back in 2013, the Shelby v. Holder decision removed the federal pre-clearance requirement in North Carolina. That led up to it from the House Bill 589 that was called the Monster Voter Suppression Law, which in turn led to state legislators pulling up voter data that was more racial specific. And specifically, they were looking at voting patterns, specifically for Black people, seeing what days did they vote. And they tend to find out that Black people voted on Sundays during early voting. Yep. And with that data that they found, they targeted areas to close voter locations and shrinking the time frame where people can vote. It made it very inaccessible for people to vote, for people in the audience that are not familiar with that decision. And it also included strict voter ID requirements, But ultimately, the court found out with this decision that it was pretty much unconstitutional, because not only it broke it down by race with the data to disproportionately affect Black voters, but they used the term that they targeted Black voters with precision, like what they call it, surgical precision, I should say.
Surgical precision. That's right.
Yeah, sorry. They targeted with surgical precision. So can you tell me your thoughts on that, leading from that landmark case back in 2013 up until today, what we see right now with the bill that they're trying to pass in Congress? Can you speak to that for me?
Yeah. Again, we talked about the Greensboro 404 earlier. I'm an Alpha. I'm a proud member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. Dr. King, 1968 Civil Rights Act. This is being done purposely. If a lot of them had it their way, we go back to segregation. Cory Booker was just frying up somebody who Trump is trying to appoint now, who believes that white people are in danger of being eradicated and white flight and all that stuff. And what you're seeing is Project 2025 or Project 2020. I'm sorry. We, as in the people, have to demand that we protect and put people in office that are going to protect our right to vote, our right to keep college campuses as early voting locations. North Carolina right now, because of our legislature, when Josh Stein won, right? North Carolina is known for being quote unquote a purple state, but we're also known for being a split party state, meaning like we can vote. Trump won North Carolina, but we won governorship, right? And one of the things that the legislature did was kind of strip the governor from appointing powers and gave the Republican state auditor a lot of the power that the governor would have. And then our state Supreme Court held up that ruling because, again, they are vastly Republican, right? And because of that, the State Board of Elections also flipped to being more Republicans than Democrats, when usually if there's a Democrat in office, it's flipped. And one of the things that they have done is take away college campuses as early voting locations, knowing that our young people will come out and force and vote, and primarily vote Democrat. They're stripping away the souls to the polls, where, depending on your county, you may have only one Sunday to vote. And then they restricted the hours between 1 to 4. Well, where do most Black people be from 1 to 4 on a Sunday? I mean, if you went to a church like mine, we just getting cooking at 1. Mm-hmm. Right? So these things are purposely being done. Early voting in itself, they're putting the hours from 8 to 5. Again, most people are working between the hours of 8 and 5. They have to do these things in order for us to, in order for them to win. Ultimately, it's almost like you're cheating to win, even though I got cheated out of this election. No, you're cheating to win by putting all these restrictive rules out there. In order for you to vote, you already have to have an ID. Like a lot of these laws, like on paper, they we already do. When you go to vote, they're asking you, they're asking you sometimes to see your ID to match, certain things, right? You have to be a United States citizen to go vote. I mean, they do studies all the time about voting fraud is so minuscule. But you would think it is rampant here in the United States of America, how many people vote illegally, right? These are distractions, ultimately, what I'm trying to tell you, and we need to stay focused. We need to get our behinds up, and we need to go vote, and we need to do what you have to do. And I would tell people who own businesses, right? Why would you not want your employees to vote? Why would you not want them, if you are a quote unquote patriot, right? Why would you not want folks to exercise their right to vote? Right? So, I believe like a lot of these decisions are going to come back to bite those who've made those decisions in the butt. Because I don't believe America really wants to be, America is not designed, I don't think that they don't want cheaters. You win, you lose. If you lose, suck it up, try it again, don't try it again. But we're not going to cheat and try to steal a thing because I'm afraid I'm going to lose. That's not how we should do business here in America.
And from what I read, there was some news about some of the students up in Raleigh, specifically in North Carolina A&T. They were protesting the Board of Elections because they closed a lot of the polling sites at the universities. Basically, they passed some type of plan to close sites there. I think they called it like you have to consider. Forgive me if I'm not wording this right, but I think it was about they called it like the travel off campus type of locations. They want students to travel off campus because before it was very convenient for students to vote, but when the students heard about this, those who are a part of these specific groups and the colleges heard about this, they went and protested the Board of Elections to keep those locations, but ultimately it didn't work in their favor for the students. So could you speak to that for me about this ruling that recently came about? Mm-hmm.
So this is when each county has its own state board of has its county board of election, and they determine where the polling locations are going to be. The state won't determine that, but the county legislations will determine that. And since, again, we went from a 3-2, most county board of elections have 5 people that are appointed. And since we went from a 3-2 Democrat to a 3-2 Republican, there's not, there was nothing that, most of the, most counties can do when it's talking about, removing a polling location. Again, it is made to discourage voting. They know that the convenience, and most of these polling locations have been there historically for decades, right? Mm-hmm. And taking that away, I think sometimes also this is a wake-up call.
Do you feel like it's a slight knowing that it's close to the primary that they?
Of course, it's
literally a month away. Yeah,
it's done. It's done. This is setting everything up for 2026. Mm-hmm. Like all the little breadcrumbs that they're leaving out, they're testing in this primary, and then in 2026 they're going to implement some more restrictive stuff. I believe that they're going to restrict the hours. I really just feel like they're going to restrict the hours that people can vote. If you don't have, this is why it's important during early voting. If you haven't registered, so you can register and vote the same day. It's important that if you don't have an ID, you can go to your county board of elections right now during early vote and get a state issued ID, so you can vote. We have to be proactive. Right now, we're very much reactive, and I understand that. But okay, this is the pregame before the game. So we got to start having plans like A&T and some of the other universities that have had their polling locations taken. Now is the time to start organizing and planning for November. We can't get complacent. We can't tuck our tails and run. This is the time right now where we get focused, we organize, and have a plan, whether that's going to be these university presidents ordering their charter buses to start busing kids to these polls or whatever, or these churches with these church vans start doing a thing. Now is the time to organize and game plan for what we're trying to do for 2026. We can't just sit on our laurels, but this is being done purposely, and we just have to answer the call. Absolutely.
And that gives me a bit of hope because, in the last cycle of the election, young people, mainly students, had a low voter turnout outcome. But just seeing these students being so diligent to advocate for their polling places to stay where they are, not only at North Carolina A&T, but at Elon, I think it was at Elon University in Western Carolina as well, to keep these polling places. And the fact that the judge denied it and said it was based, they said they couldn't reinstate the sites because it was in close proximity to the election, tells me that, you know, I'm not in law, but that, from my opinion, it seems like they can continue to keep trying to appeal this, because if that's the only excuse that the judge said, that it's based off of the proximity to it, I think they can keep going at it before 2028.
And so, and it depends on the judge, to be honest with you. A lot of these judges, our judges in North Carolina are also partisan. So, you know, if they're Republican and Democrat, which that was a law that they had passed, purposely done a couple years back. We shouldn't have any partisan judges. We should not know what your affiliation is per se, and just be able to vote based on how you do a thing. And so depending on that, I mean, depending on what judge they can get, you never know.
Absolutely. All right. So I want to go ahead and get to the fun rapid fire questions.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
All right. So which one has better pizza, Staten Island or I think it's Mebane? Mebane? Is that how you pronounce it?
It's Mebane. You talking
Mebane?
about Mebane?
I'm sorry, Mebane. I keep mispronouncing.
I said Mebane too, and I ain't gonna be bad at you. Is that a real question? It's Staten Island.
I would know.
No questions. It's Staten Island. No question.
Okay. All right, you're down by 1 with 10 seconds left. Do you draw up a play for a 3-pointer or drive down the lane for a layup?
I'm down by 1.
Down by 1 with 10 seconds left.
Oh, I'm not going for the 3. I'm going for the 2.
Nice, smart play, because you can draw up a foul.
That's it. Oh, I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm definitely looking to draw up something that's going to get us to the basket. That's going to be able to force them to have to foul us, or we can get an and one out of that. Some type of misdirection.
All right. Which one is the one school supply you can't live without? A dry eraser marker or a high quality planner?
Damn, dry erase markers, man. Kids be stealing them.
Okay. Regarding UNC or Duke, if you're forced to pick a side in the rivalry, who you got?
It's Duke.
Oh, no question.
Duke.
That was just Duke. off the rip. Okay. All right. What's your coach voice? What's your coach voice louder for? A missed defensive assignment or a referee's bad call?
It depends on what referee you ask. It's probably definitely a missed defensive assignment.
All right. What's a better way to start your morning? With Starbucks or a local coffee shop?
Since I don't drink coffee, I drink a chai. I'm definitely going to go with local.
All right. Regarding the transportation, the subway or the beltway, which one is more stressful to navigate?
The beltway. I'll take the subway. I know the stops.
All right. If you could have a classroom named after you or a gym floor named after you, which one would it be?
I'm a coach, man. It's going to be a gym floor.
All right. And your favorite coach movie, will it be Coach Carter, Hoosiers, or Remember the Titans? Or maybe you can order them from 1 to 3. Which one is your top classic?
Hey,
let me hear it.
That's hard because I coach basketball, but who don't love Denzel in that movie, man? So I gotta run with Denzel on that. Remember the Titans.
But if you could rank the 3, tell me how would you rank the 3 of the Coach
if
Carter?
If I could rank the 3,
Hoosiers or the Remember the Titans? Yeah, Remember the Titans. Yeah.
I mean, Remember the Titans, Coach Carter, and the Hoosiers.
Okay, that's a good ranking. Because I like all 3 of them. So
I mean, Hoosiers is in the. I thought you would have said Sunset Park or something like that. I thought you was gonna give me like another Love and Basketball or some other type of.
Love and Basketball is classic too. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I'm with it, though. I appreciate those choices. Okay,
and so I want to delve into your opinions about transportation. So. The fact that the I-40 and the I-85 corridor through Mebane is one of the most congested stretches of the highway in the state, impacting local commute times and air quality. How would you advocate at the state level to prioritize infrastructure projects that ease the local congestion without simply adding more lanes that encourage further sprawl?
That's a really good question. I think that's a tough question to answer because we have to understand the difference between who owns that road. And I think the federal, you have I-40, and that's really like wherever you live, like even in how your street gets plowed, right? A lot of times the state may own that road and not the city or municipality. And so if you're not getting plowed or it's not a priority, we need to figure out, well, who owns that street. I think that comes from helping with knowledge, helping residents know that. But when it comes to like I-40, 80, 85, I drive that every single day, and it's always that bottleneck sometimes at the split. I think the biggest issue with I-40 and 85 is the sun glare, to be honest with you. And that has something to do with us cutting all these trees down. And so they've been widening in that lane, I don't know, since I've been undergrad. So that's got to be since 2000. They've been trying to widen I-40, 85. But if I was able to do something about that, I mean, clearly I feel like our construction windows are too slow. I believe that I've seen us build things that are of importance in a much faster time than it takes for them to be doing some doing a highway. It's ridiculous. And the air quality and the environment is very important to me. And so we have to be better. I would love to see us.
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was saying I would love to see us do different types of roads. I would like to see us do more solar roads or some type of other outside of just these asphalt roads. I would like to see us, I think in other countries kind of somehow, some way they do it better. Sometimes when it comes to like the quality of what we're using. So more environmental friendly. Okay.
And could you tell me what is your plan to modernize water, sewer, and broadband infrastructure to support economic growth in your district?
So water, you said water, sewer?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. So a lot of that has to deal with so a lot of that has to deal with the amount of power that Duke Energy has and a lot of the wastewater that they use.
Too.
It is a huge conglomerate, and they just recently passed a bill, one of the few bills that they passed again that are going to adversely affect everyone, working class families, single people, people on fixed incomes, where Duke Energy pretty much has the ability to hike the rates, and we need to cut that. We need to repeal that. We need to make sure that they're following appropriate regulations. We need to make sure that they are we're holding them accountable for the environmental impact that they have, the adverse environmental impact that they have. We need to make sure that our water is safe to drink. We need to make sure our water is we have good water reserves. We need to make sure that we are prepared for emergencies. We had a storm up here last summer, and one of our dams broke, right? And the people in Mebane were without water for almost 5 days. But the other cities didn't have that same kind of issues that were surrounding us. We have to look at these infrastructural issues. We're very reactive and not proactive. Like I don't understand that part. But
I agree.
What was the other half?
I was just saying, to your point, it's people don't. Well, a lot of politicians don't realize that it's a net benefit when you're more proactive to modernize things than to be reactive, because then it's.
I mean, it's an economy booster. We talked about the economy, but when you're talking about jobs, like clean energy jobs are something that we should be pushing here. And North Carolina has been pretty good as far as like clean energy. I think we're going to be regressing some because of the dodo bird up there in the White House per se, but like but North Carolina has been good with that. I would love to see more of that modernization when it comes to our transit. We talked about that. I would love to see more light rail. I would love to see more inner city, city to city interconnections when it comes to transportation, where it's not always having to be a car. That's one of the biggest issues that we have, is that Alamance County is very much a car heavy county. We do not have many areas where you can get to, good food and shopping without having a vehicle. So whether or not we need to modernize our buses, make them more electric, that way their stamp is not as heavy, their carbon impact is not as heavy. Whether that's going to be, we add some bike lanes where people can actually get to where they need to get to. I just believe that we need to be focusing on that instead of like some of the other nonsense that we focus on.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. So there are some questions in the chat. Someone asked, are you the only child in your family?
Yo, somebody must know me. Because yes, I am the only child.
Okay. And then the other question was, do you have any siblings? They're asking for a friend.
I don't have, if I'm the only child, I don't have siblings, but like, I'm around a lot of some good dudes. So,
Or maybe you have some siblings that are not officially your siblings, I guess, that they were trying to
I
say.
got a lot of black, quote unquote, black uncles and black cousins, but I don't have any. I'm the only. I'm the only.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But other than that, other people, everybody has really been appreciating your answers to the question. So it looks like those are the only ones I have thus far from the chat. I don't see anyone in the queue. But that pretty much wraps up my topic questions for you. But lastly, what is your final message to voters before the primaries and election day?
Well, yeah, I'm blessed to not have a primary, but there are plenty of people who live in cities and municipalities and counties that have primaries. I think it's important for you to make your voices heard about what's the direction you want your city or town to be in. I think for me, one of the problems that we have as Black candidates a lot is that we don't get support from our people. That's what is commonly stated. And sometimes it is seen. We should want representation. We should want folks who are going to carry a message. And I'm not saying, and not all Black people come from the same ilk or this, that, and the fourth. I don't see color in that aspect, but I do want others to see themselves in me, the same way that I saw myself in the people that I admired. And that means to join my team. I'm in a toss-up race. I'm on the march to November. Sometimes they tell you the seriousness of a candidate is how much money you raise. Well, I can sit here and tell you that I'm a serious candidate and I'm going to raise a lot of money, but I don't have that guy I could call and say, hey, drop $6,800. So I have to shout out my students for even putting me on TikTok, because I never had a TikTok. I didn't necessarily believe in a TikTok, but apparently what I'm saying is starting to resonate. And what I'm trying to tell you, whether you live in North Carolina, New York, or PG County or whatever, is don't give up fighting. Don't give up the hope. Don't give up saying that, nothing's going to change. Nothing comes to a dream about a dream. And you have to put actions behind the things that you want. I want you to think about it. It's bigger than you. As a coach, we always talk about it's a collective. It's not an individual that wins a thing. It's a collective thing. And so in order for us to change what we want to see and get the things that we really want, we have to collectively be unified in that bond. And so for me, as a candidate, as a leader, I just want people to understand that I'm you. I'm a working class person. I'm an educator. I don't have a lot of money, never came from a lot of money, but I just believe in the power of making differences. And the only way that we can make a difference is we got to get in those seats. And the only way we getting those seats if you can get your butt up and go vote. And not just get you to go vote, but then get your friends to go vote and get their friends to go vote and get their friends' friends to go vote. And that's how we make change happen. So I appreciate being on the space. Y'all can go to, it's right there on the top, right behind my head, levonfornc.com, where you go to, you can donate dollars, you can volunteer by making calls, you can knock on doors, you can do all the things, because I need all of that help as we get to November. And it's platforms like yours that are signaling, giving platforms to candidates that may not have the reach that's going to help change the course of where we're going. So I just appreciate our votes, and our votes count. And I just, I'm blessed to be here. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate those who've been hanging on. I know it's 10 o'clock, but hopefully I gave y'all some nutrition as you go to bed tonight.
Absolutely. And thank you for being here once again. And before you go, we do have a few invitations that we would love to send to you. So coming up next on our next town hall, we will have the candidate who's running for U.S. House District 6 in Arlington, Texas. His name is, Danny Minton. Sorry. Yes. He is running for Congress in District 6 of Texas. So we will have him tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then also following up with Danny, we will have Matt Grumlich. Matt is running for Congress in Louisiana's 4th Congressional District, and we will have him at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And also be on the lookout for your email invitation, LeVon, because we have a roundtable candidate discussion. We have every other Sunday, and our next one will be on March the 1st at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This candidate roundtable consists of candidates like you and 5 other candidates on the panel talking about current events and politics for the that has happened for the month or the last couple of weeks. And just to collaborate and have discussions with other candidates regarding your updates on your campaign or whatever topics that come about. So we would love to have you if you have any availability before March 3rd.
I'm here with you. Let's do that.
Absolutely. So yes, please be on the lookout for that email. We would love to have you. And also, for those who are listening in the chat, we are on the lookout for more people to moderate our town hall. So a moderator is someone like me who poses the questions to the candidate and keep the conversation going. So if you are interested in joining Our Vote Counts to be a moderator, feel free to inbox our Vote Counts, and we would love to speak to you more about it. So lastly, I want to thank Our Vote Counts for holding this platform to have this conversation with LeVon. Also thankful for the participants of the live stream, and last but not least, our OVC team. We work very diligently on the back end to book candidates, do the research, the graphics, and also the promotion videos. All the intricate details that you see right here on this live stream required a lot of work. So our team, your work does not go unnoticed. So I do thank you all, our OVC team, in making this happen. So just to close out.
Jazz, hold on, Jazz. I got to beef with your team, though. I looked at listen, I love the team, but I looked at all of the videos, the hype videos, right? And I heard all these hype songs. And you know what I had for my hype video? I had Heal the World. Now, I'm a biggest Michael Jackson fan. And somebody must have did their homework, but they had Heal the World on there. I'm like, everybody else had like the rap songs, and I had the slow Heal the World. So that's my only beef that I got with the team, but I love them though. I appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. Well, next time, just let us know what type of vibe you like in the song, because we would love to have you next time again. If the opportunity comes about. So, and we'll put something that's to your flavor next time. But hey, I hope you still like the actual content on it. I hope that.
I loved it. I mean, I loved it. I mean, and I love Heal the World. I was just like, let me get dad or something.
Okay. Absolutely. All right. So just to close out, just once again, our vote counts. We are a nonpartisan movement uniting Americans from all walks of life to empower voters, support candidates of integrity, and ensure that every voice is heard. Through education, outreach, accountability, and action, we're building a stronger democracy. So with one informed vote at a time, please join us because your vote is your power. So until then, have a good night, everyone, and see you all tomorrow. Be safe.